The meeting is now open, and I'd like to thank you for attending the Committee of Adjustment meeting. And I'd like to remind everyone as we get underway that this meeting is in person and online through Zoom and is being recorded. Everyone online will be muted with the exception of committee members and staff, and all comments and questions are to be directed through the chair from committee members, staff, and the public. I'd like to remind the committee members that you must speak into your microphone so that everyone online and in person can hear you. For those attendees that are online, your video picture will not be displayed. You will be muted and will not be able to unmute yourself during an application that you have not requested to attend unless you raise your hand. At the beginning of each application, I will call the applicant forward. The owner or applicant in attendance may come to the table to their right to speak with the committee. This microphone is live and you must speak into the microphone. If the owner or applicant is online, you will be unmuted. Committee will ask for comments from the public during each application. Please provide your name and address for the public record. All comments, questions should be directed to the chair and only speak when it's your turn. If you are in person and would like to speak to an application one at a time, you may approach the podium and speak. This microphone will be live. If you're on the video portion of the Zoom meeting, you would like to speak and your microphone is muted, please click on the raise hand button located on the bottom of your screen. Staff will notify me that you wish to speak. If you're attending by telephone and you wish to speak, please dial *9 to raise your hand, which will signal staff that you wish to speak. Once a decision has been made concerning your application, you're welcome to leave the hearing while the committee continues with the next application. Members in attendance today are Todd Robertson, Bruce Craig, Paul Veenstra, and Andrew Logan on Zoom, and myself, Jim Keogh. Our staff in attendance are Senior Planner Lindsay Lambert, Planner Kyle Peel, and Secretary Treasurer Amanda Warner McKellar. The first item on the agenda today is the adoption of the agenda. Any committee members with any changes they wish to make?
No, sir.
None here.
No.
No.
Okay, I have none either. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Todd, seconded by Paul. That the agenda be adopted as circulated. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yep.
Andrew?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am also carried. Second item on the agenda is the adoption of the minutes from our June 30th, 2026 meeting. Any committee members have any changes they wish to make or suggestions?
None here.
Nothing here.
No.
None for me.
Nor do I. So I need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Paul. That the minutes of the June 30th, 2026 hearing of the Committee of Adjustment be adopted as circulated. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yep.
I am also carried. Any pecuniary interests or other to declare before we start the meeting?
None here.
I have none.
No.
Nope.
Nor do I. So our first application today is D13-2026-0166-62 Benson Drive. Amanda, do you want to give us your orders?
Yes, the application is requesting a permission to expand the footprint of the existing legal non-complying dwelling with the addition of an attached uncovered deck. The existing dwelling is legal non-complying with respect to the minimum 30-meter setback from the high water mark of the St. Lawrence River and the minimum 30-meter front yard provision of the island residential zone. The existing 90 square meter single-story dwelling is proposed to be expanded with 53.9 square meters of attached uncovered decking. The property is currently developed with a single detached dwelling, 2 accessory structures, and a former boathouse with a storage use on the main floor and a residential use on the second floor.
Thanks, Amanda. Kyle, would you like to give us your recommendation and summary, please?
Thank you, Chair, and through you. As noted, this application is requesting a permission to expand an existing legal non-complying dwelling with the addition of an uncovered attached deck. It is proposed to permit the attached uncovered deck to be located on the north side of the existing dwelling, and the structure is proposed to encroach 4.9 meters closer to the high water mark than the closest point of the existing dwelling. This encroachment into the setback area is understood to be limited, and as such, no substantive disturbance to native soils and vegetation within the established water setback buffer area is anticipated. Further, the overall proposed expansion is limited. No undue adverse impacts are anticipated beyond what currently exists, and the scale of the proposed structure is in appropriate proportion to the existing legal non-complying dwelling. In conclusion, the Conservation Authority have submitted comments noting no concerns based on their consideration of natural hazards. The application has been found to be consistent with the applicable policies and regulations of the land use planning documents of the township, and planning staff recommend approval of this application per the details and conditions enclosed within the staff report. Thank you.
Thanks, Kyle. Amanda, any other comments?
And we received the comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we have not received any further written public comments.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone in attendance in the audience that wishes to speak to this application?
I have no one online and no one in the audience looking to speak to the application.
Committee members, start with you, Todd. Any questions for the applicant?
No questions. My only comments are that the topography and the distance from shore seem to mitigate any concerns one would have with this addition. So I'm no concerns at all.
Good. Bruce?
I have no concerns.
Paul?
Nothing here.
Andrew?
No, based on the evaluation and recommendations provided, seems reasonable, moderate, and within the standards available.
And I have no objection. So we need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Todd, seconded by Paul. That application D13-2026-016 be approved subject to the conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. You ready to vote?
Yes.
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 Yep.
And I am also carried. Second on our agenda today is D13-2026-017-108 Main Street. Do you want to read us your spiel here?
We have the agent online if you would like to speak with her. So the application is requesting a minor variance to permit a reduced lot frontage for the property municipally known as 108B Main Street. The property was subject to a consent application with the purpose of facilitating freehold ownership of a proposed semi-detached dwelling by permitting a common party wall severance between the dwelling units. The consent application was approved with the condition that a zoning bylaw amendment be required to address the resulting non-compliant minimum lot areas and frontages. Subsequently, zoning bylaw amendment was approved to fulfill this condition, which established a minimum lot size of 0.61 acres and a minimum lot frontage of 22.8 meters under the Hamlet Residential Special Exception 7 zone. Upon surveying the lots, it was determined that the lot at 108B Main Street had a lot frontage of 22.36 meters, which is non-compliant with the established minimum required lot frontage of 22.8, and as such, a minor variance is required to permit the reduction of 0.44 meters.
Kyle, would you like to give us your board recommendation, please?
Thank you, Chair, and through you. So this application, as noted, is requesting a minor variance to permit a reduced lot frontage for the property municipally known as 108B Main Street. To provide some context for the committee, discussions regarding this property began with the applicant approaching staff requesting a common party wall severance so as to allow freehold ownership of the separate units contained within the semi-detached dwelling, which was under construction. Staff noted no concerns with this request, flagging that as the resulting lot size and frontage would be reduced beyond what would be permitted as per the zoning bylaw, a zoning bylaw amendment would be required partially to establish the minimum lot size and frontage. This zoning bylaw amendment was processed and approved based on the information provided by the applicant as to the proposed size and frontage. Once the amendment was approved, the applicant had the property surveyed, and it was identified that the frontage was less than what was approved in the zoning amendment. As such, to recognize the reduced lot frontage, a minor variance is required. This variance is technical in nature, and the reduction of approximately 0.5 meters is not expected to have any negative impacts. The application has been found to be consistent with the applicable policies and regulations of the land use planning documents of the township. Planning staff recommend approval of this application per the details and conditions enclosed within the staff report. Thank you.
Thank you. Amanda?
We received comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections, and we've not received any further written public comments.
Thank you. Is there anyone in attendance in the audience that wishes to speak to this application?
We have no one in the audience and no one online looking to speak to the application.
Committee members? Todd, start with you. Any questions for the applicant?
No questions. Appreciate the background as to how we got this point. So no questions.
Bruce?
My only question is concern about the closeness of wells and septic tanks, because they're so close together. I'm sure it's being handled by our building department, but I'm wondering if the agent could address that.
See, listening.
Hi there. Sorry about the delay. We did do our original concept plan that was submitted with the severance and zoning applications back at whatever date that was, did show conceptual septic and well designs and location, and will ensure that they are adequately spaced from each other and all neighboring properties.
Thank you. I noticed the lots are quite deep, so I'm sure it's being looked after, but thank you.
Yep, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, Paul?
Yeah, nothing here.
Andrew?
No questions or objections from me.
Nor do I. So we need a mover and a seconder. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Paul. That application D13-2026-017 be approved, subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. All in favor?
Yes.
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 Yep.
And I'm also carried. So last but not least is D13-2026-018-788 Thousand Island Parkway. So Amanda, would you give us her orders?
Yes, we have the owner online if you have any questions. So the application is requesting zoning relief through a minor variance to permit a construction of a 223 square meter dwelling within the minimum 30-meter water body setback of the zoning bylaw. The proposed minimum water body setback for the dwelling is 23.7 meters. The subject property is zoned rural and is currently vacant of buildings. There is a steep slope on the east side of the property with the existing water course located further east from the slope.
Okay, Lindsay.
Thank you, Chair, and through you. So as noted, this is an application for zoning relief for a proposed single-story dwelling on an existing vacant lot of record that is zoned rural in the township zoning bylaw. The requested variance is with respect to the proposed setback from an existing water course located east of the property. The zoning bylaw requires a minimum 30-meter setback from water bodies and water courses, and the application is proposing a minimum setback of 23.7 meters. The subject property is constrained with a significant grade change from the location of the proposed dwelling and the water course. There is also a significant rock ridge on the west side of the property. The lot also slopes down to the north and south. The septic system and accessory structures noted on the plot plan are being proposed in compliance with the zoning bylaw and therefore are not part of the application. Staff met with the CRCA and the property owner earlier this year to review the constraints of the property and to determine the minimum setback that the CRCA would require to address the erosion hazard associated with the slope on the west side of the property. This led to updates in the plot plan, and in response to the circulation of the formal application, the CRCA has provided comments advising that it has no concerns with the approval of the application based on its consideration of natural hazards policies, and regulations. With respect to the public comments received today, township planning staff responded to the initial correspondence from the neighboring property owner and provided a detailed response to their questions. Staff note that our land use planning documents treat watercourses the same in terms of whether they're intermittent or not. Further, the proposed dwelling is close to 500 meters from the existing dwelling on the Selton Road property to the north. And the direction of the watercourse is from the north to the south towards the St. Lawrence River. With respect to MDS, MDS 1 requirements do not apply to the proposed dwelling based on the date of when the subject lot was created. And it was noted in staff's response to the neighboring property owner that if they wish to construct a new livestock facility in the future on their property, that MDS 2 requirements would apply, and that there are other existing residential uses that would also factor into the MDS requirements. So taking into account the constraints of the property, the proposal has been found to be consistent with the applicable land use planning documents of the township and meeting the 4 tests of a minor variance under the Planning Act. No undue adverse impacts are anticipated with respect to the watercourse and adjacent properties. The recommended conditions include the requirement to install proper erosion and sediment control measures during construction to protect the adjacent watercourse. In summary, staff recommend approval of the application in accordance with the details and conditions included within the staff report. Thank you.
Excellent. Amanda, any other public comments?
We received the comments from the Conservation Authority with no objections. And then the written public comments were received from Kim Knox, a neighbor. And to summarize, it was noted that the dried stream bed noted on the application is not always dry, as there is water in it during the spring, sometimes the fall, and other times depending upon the amount of rainfall. Ms. Knox advised that she contacted the township for further clarification, but still has concerns regarding the approval of this application, that the implication would impact her property or ability for future use on the property. And I provided each of you with a copy of the comments.
Thanks, Amanda. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak to this application? Well, do you want to come up to the podium and, okay.
Yes, this is Michael Lalande. So if you have questions, he is the owner and applicant as well.
Okay. So, committee members, Todd, start with you. Any questions then?
Yeah, I'm going to make you get up. Sorry, I do have a question. If I can, please, yes. Yeah, and through you, Chair, my question relates to the letter that was received from the neighbor this morning, or we received it this morning, certainly. As I read the letter, the thing that comes to my mind has more to do with drainage, like drainage off of that property through that water course. So I guess it's more of a comment or / question is, will you be taking measures to ensure that there'll be no impact on the drainage ability of that water course to adjacent lands around your property?
Absolutely. The, as per what we are part of our conditions in regards to erosion fencing being put up, all of the construction is going to be 500 meters or 500 from their property line. So, and we're not building close. It's a very small footprint of the house. It's actually over. It's only 640 square feet. The majority of the house is well inside of the 30-meter setback.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
So, yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank you. No other questions.
Okay, Bruce?
No, I have no concerns, mainly because of the elevation of the property down to the water course. So no, I'm good with the application.
Paul?
Nothing here.
Andrew?
No, just with sort of consideration of the concerns that were raised by the neighbor and the response that was delivered here today, just that they be noted, but there are no formal objections from me.
I don't have any either. I realize that there might be a little water in that spring and fall, but I said I don't think it's a navigable waterway by any means, so
No.
I have no objection. So we need mover and a seconder. Moved by Todd, seconded by Paul. Moved by Todd, seconded by Paul. That the application D13-2026-018 be approved subject to conditions as included in the planner's report and the decision of the committee. Ready to vote?
Yes.
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 Yep.
And I am also carried. Oh, Madam Secretary, is there any other business?
No, we have no other formal business to discuss, so we can proceed to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn, Bruce. Seconded by Paul. Moved by Bruce, seconded by Paul. The Committee of Adjustment will adjourn to meet again at call the Secretary Treasurer. All in favor?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
I am also carried. Meeting is.
Thank you, everyone.